Power thinking, rejuvenating your amazing, amazing mind. Um, this is our session for Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026, next to the last Wednesday in the month of April. This year is moving along, and our job every week, I thoroughly enjoy it, is to be with you and to help you reinforce not these nice to know skills. And last week we talked about AI and the future of the workforce and how what we are sharing is going to be absolutely essential for human beings dealing in this new environment with robotics and AI and art, uh, uh, non-humans that will be able to do a lot of things that humans do. So we're going to have to be leaning on the skills and the strengths that we share with you, not only because there are some folks that may have to shift what they're doing and get into some unknown territory, but it's going to be even more of an emphasis to how focus on how we are relating to other people. So where these skills in the past may have been seen as nice to know, um, soft skills, so to speak. These are absolutely essential. So we're happy that we have been able to keep this thing going so that we were here for a time when it's more needed than ever. So our goal is to help you retrain your brain so that when adversity hits, not if but when you're ready. So we have three people on already. I'm going to make sure I get the names here. We have Carla Hill, and the system will tell me what order when we hit the button. Leslie Flowers, you folks are already on it. We have Keystone Divers, and you'll let us know your name. And so we're looking forward to anyone else. Hit that star 6 or make a comment for LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn, you're on the phone lines. You could be on LinkedIn as well as Leila Llewellyn's both on the phone line, and she's also on LinkedIn, and she's saying welcome. So today we are focused on emotion regulation, and you hear me talk about emotion regulation a lot. It's one of our 7 inner strengths of resilience, as well as the second inner strength of resilience, impulse control, but how it relates particularly to relationships, to our marriages, to our relationships. And love to hear your thoughts about that. We shared a video called, and the title of the video is YouTube video, Emotion Regulation dash Anger Management in Marriage. We just focus here on the one of the 5 big negative emotions. Remember, we talked about the 5 big negative emotions a few weeks ago. There's anger, the belief that someone violated your rights. There's guilt, the belief that you violated someone else's rights. There's sadness, it's a loss of a loved one, of a contract, of a job, and a relationship. There's embarrassment, loss of standing in a group, and there's anxiety, fear of a future threat. And in relationships, you can have them all, right? And many of them at the same time, it seems. So, I want to get your thoughts about the video we shared, which is called Emotion Regulation, Anger Management in a Marriage. What are your thoughts about relationships? Now, before we get into it, I'm going to go right to you and get your thoughts. So feel free again, hit that star 6, share your thoughts in link on LinkedIn. We have these 7 inner strengths: emotion regulation, the ability to stay calm under pressure; impulse control, the ability not to say or do the first thing that comes to mind. Think about relationships, right? And how those 2 inner strengths, how we respond when we're getting into a confrontation, are critical to either keeping a relationship going or losing that relationship. There's empathy, the ability to understand another person's experiences and emotions. There's self-efficacy, the belief that you have control, not someone else. You have control over your ability to succeed in life, to succeed in relationships. the optimism, the view that regardless of how bad it is, ultimately, there's going to be a successful outcome to all of this. Causal analysis, drilling down to the root cause of a situation or problem, and then reaching out, taking the initiative to take action and connect with other people when faced with setbacks and challenges. I'm going to bring two incidents up that happened between the time we were together last week and today. Unfortunate incidents that got global attention related to relationships. In the one, which was last Thursday, the 16th, gentleman by the name of Justin Fairfax, the former lieutenant governor of Virginia, and what they said was a quote unquote rising star, someone that they expected to really do well. How he and his wife had been separated, but living in the same house, and they were filing. There was a divorce going in the process, and papers were delivered to him in the same house, to the same house that his wife, who was separated from, they were living in together. And he received these papers, and then, for some reason, snapped. They had a gun in the house. He killed his wife, and then killed himself. He had two teenage children in the house, and one called 911. Their lives are over, and the children's lives are impacted for the rest of their lives. Think about emotion regulation, impulse control. What could have happened differently? I'd love to get your thoughts about that. And then was the second, which was a mass shooting, where on Sunday in Shreveport, Louisiana, where 8 children were killed. A man came in and killed 8 children. 7 of those children were his. He tried to kill his wife, and she survived, thank goodness. But then he died, I believe, through gunfire with the authorities. Never should have happened. It could have been totally avoided through just getting stronger in 2 areas: emotion regulation, impulse control. So I want to hear your thoughts. Thoughts about the role of emotion regulation, impulse control in a relationship, in a marriage. So let's go right to our phone lines. Let's go to Leslie Flowers first. Leslie, thanks for joining us. Mention where you're joining us from and your thoughts about emotion regulation in relationships. Welcome.
Thank you, Stanley. Calling from ACC territory, North Carolina, and the East Coast of the United States. And happy to be here. I did listen to the video twice. A couple of things I think that are important here. While there are 7 steps to resilience, my experience has been to do my best to focus on one at a time. And in the example on the video, this was very mild. These are 2 couples that have done personal development work, right? This was a very light example of the potential of emotional regulation, whereas the 2 examples you just gave were the extreme. And I think that we're experiencing a lot of the extreme now. These take practice to get good at responding instead of reacting. So when something happens that triggers us, in other words, ticks us off, and we're not even thinking, it's a physical reaction based on fear, which map beautifully to the emotions that you spoke about last week. There are 6 basic fears, and they actually intermingle with this power thinking's approach. So when that happens, because it's happened so many times to us when we've been irritated or ticked off, there is now no thinking. There is a literal physical reaction, not only in your body, but in your brain too. And that physical reaction is a very low vibration. It's likened to animals. It's the fight or flight. And so this work that Stanley, that you share and that I share in my work as well, is about becoming aware of what is the original source of that kind of explosive reaction. And intellectually, we do know that in the two cases you brought up, this was extreme. And the source in these people's lives that would push them over the edge comes through repeating and continually experiencing one of our early childhood traumas. So this is why you could say the bully raises a bully.
Right.
Both bullies were bullied, right? Because it's a learned behavior. Well, to your point, you can learn to become aware when you physically feel triggered, like you don't feel good. It feels bad. You feel the blood boiling in your ears. Now, in the video, one of the husbands said, "I'm better after I take a walk around the block." But in the case of these two incidents and the wildness that are going on in the world, that is not enough. What matters, the bottom line here, Stanley, is that you attend these sessions every week.
Yes.
That you are always growing in awareness of your infinite potential, that you have to practice these skills of resilience. It isn't enough to understand them intellectually and shake our heads, yes, yes, yes.
Exactly.
But it's in the moment that you lose your temper, right? And it's beyond thinking. Like it's gone past the point of responding. You're in full reaction. So, really that is the lesson here, is pick one of those, whichever one Stanley says, and write it out on a sticky. Practice catching yourself. You won't always be good at it, but awareness starts when you can see it and say, wait a minute, let me walk around the house. Wait a minute. And in those two videos, those people were also working together. How often are we with someone where we're on different levels of awareness, where one person is more aware and able to control where the other one? And it will be interesting with the people that are on this line that have been with you for a long time, where they stand in relation to their spouse or partner in this. Anyway,
Great.
Thank you, Stanley, for supporting my shows. And, I hope this made a difference.
Oh, definitely. Thank you, Leslie, and thanks for all you do. I have a little thing up on the screen that Power Thinking helps the helpers change the world, and you're one of those helpers who are changing the world. We sponsor your program Mondays at 10 a.m. and then on we don't sponsor Friday, but you do a Thinking Grow Rich on show on Friday 11 a.m. So we appreciate you and you being a Power Thinking mobile app user. Folks, I want to acknowledge a couple of people who are with us on LinkedIn. There's Layla, who's with us on the phone line and on LinkedIn, said, welcome, good morning. I see Felipe Capino, who is a HR expert, does a tremendous job informing people with HR related issues, just human, right? Another helper helping the helpers and helping other helpers and helping other people. And Sherry Aquari, my esteemed person who is a virtual assistant, helping me out since 2023. Happy that you have your new computer and we're rocking and rolling, Sherry. So thank you very much. We're going to go right to our next caller on the phone lines, and that would be Carla Hill. Carla, thank you for joining us. Mention where you're joining us from and your thoughts about emotion regulation in relationships. Welcome.
Yes, good morning, Stanley. I'm calling from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I would say I agree with everything that Leslie Flowers was saying, just in terms of the tools in the toolbox, and that's what Power Thinking does. It allows us to have awareness, the tools in the toolbox, and to help us become the practitioner. I've been married 36.5 years, and recently I was going over a story. I've had always challenges with my weight, being overweight, and in the past 4 years I've released, and I say release because when you lose something, you don't try to find it, and I'm not trying to find it, close to 100 pounds, and as I was really reflecting on the story for a group, I thought about my husband, and I'm more of introvert, quiet process. He's more extroverted, fun, loving, visceral, advocate. Oh, that's wrong, this is wrong. But I have to think that, and I have to compliment him that, the up and down of my weight over the 36.5 years, he's never crossed the line.
Wow.
Let's say, being negative about my weight. And I asked him, like, how did you do that? He's like, well, I'm not trying to have you beat me up. Like, I'm not.
That's why you've been married 36 years.
Yeah. But I always thought of him as like, oh, he said what's on his mind. He did it. But he must have thought, but he's never, I don't, it's amazing how he has that type of impulse control. And so I'm thankful for that. And just in terms of, I know just being in HR for years and part of my personality, I remember a pastor colleague that I worked with, he said, when we are vetting what to say, we should think about there's three things. Is it kind, is it truthful, and is it necessary? If you have that, that's a lot, especially the necessary part. Like, okay, but then it's like we can't just shut it in either. If there's real root cause analysis, that's why you go through all of the tools in our Power Thinking toolbox and the resilience toolbox, because sometimes you can't just stay on the surface. Thinking about, again, not knowing the facts of the former lieutenant governor and his wife, but sometimes separation, maybe living in that same house was too much, and just to Robert's point, being at different places, he probably thought, we're going to reconcile, but then seeing it in writing, it's not, right? So whether it's separation, in HR world, we talk about mediation, arbitration, there's a myriad of tools, and, I think about, in terms of more related to gossip and unnecessary things, there's a line in called Doubt, with the late actor Philip Seymour Hoffman, Meryl Streep, and Viola Davis. And there's a line that says, it's about a priest that's accused, and nobody knows whether he did or not, of molestation. And the line in the movie is, gossip is like, you have a pillow with feathers, you open up the pillow, you release the feathers, and now somebody says, go get the feathers back, right? In terms, that's like, you don't know who you told, you don't know who told that person, so it's important, but some things need to be said. So it is a practice, it is finesse, as the kids say. Yes. When to use it, when not to use it. So thanks for allowing me to share.
Well, and Carla, you and Jerry, your husband of 36 years, you were doing something together, right? You have a new, platform. So why don't you just mention that, the folks, while you're here.
Oh, yes, I am, part of what I do in my career planning practice, I really think it's important to, there's a line that I use, that your passion is your life's purpose seeking outward expression. And people have to inventory their personality, interests, skills, values, what you love to do. For me, I like the efficiency of combining the things that I love. I love biography. I think it's a civic responsibility to be engaged in the political process with content. I like books by my husband. So in this election season, and the focus is on the book, there is a Dr. Ayla Stanford in Philadelphia. She has a book, Treat Them Like They're My Own. And we are doing a live book read for a period of time, because we don't really have time. So we're in chapter 9 now, but we're reading the book live from 12:15 to 1 p.m. and we read it and we give our reflections and we keep it moving. But it's a way for people to get real, to get real information. I don't think people read enough. You get like bite-sized information.
Mhm.
Let's finish the book. So that's what we're doing. So anybody
Great.
can reach out to me.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Carla. And you don't have Carla's information. She's given it out a few times in the past. Just reach out to me and I'll connect you. And you can be part of what Carla and Jerry, her husband Jerry, are doing. So great stuff, Carla. Let's keep moving here. We have next up. Now, the screen says Keystone Driver. So let me know your name, where you're joining us from, and your thoughts about emotion regulation, impulse control, and relationships. Welcome. You want to unmute yourself. So you're unmuted here. So find that mute button. I'd love to hear from you. Your extension 8671. So it's extension, last 4 digits, 8671. You're up. It just comes across with a different name. It may be associated with an organization. So what we'll do while we're waiting, I'm going to go to Greg Jones next, and I'll simply keep you there and then come back to you instead of hitting the Q button. Greg Jones, great to have you. Let us know where you're joining us from and your thoughts about emotion regulation and relationships. Welcome.
Yes, good morning, Dan. Good morning, Power Thinking Family. And then from the Rosedale section of Queens, New York, formerly Brooklyn, New York. So, emotion regulation. This is, first of all, the first 2 callers, especially first call, I think Ms. Flowers, she was right on the money, with her summary. And yesterday's my wife's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday to your wife.
We're going out. So we just, we're having some work done on our car. And we went by the place to check on the car.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting in the garage and talking to, the gentleman, just going over the work that needed to be done and actually trying to negotiate the price down. So while we're standing there, older guy walks into the garage and just starts unloading. Right? I guess there was something on with his car. One of the guys who worked in the garage was using his car as a tow truck or something along those lines. But his volume, he was so enraged about what was going on that he didn't even recognize that we were standing there, conversing. And I think sometimes when anger just takes you over like that, and he was cursing, his tone was elevated. He said, if it doesn't stop, I'm going to call 911, I'm going to call the police. And he was so enraged. There was no emotion regulation that was where this guy was concerned.
He's at a zero. Yeah.
That's how enraged he was. It was a zero. It was, I'm just sitting there and saying, many times when I'm moving around, I have my 8-year-old grandson with me. I think, I had him on the call one day last week.
Oh, yes.
And if I'm standing there, forget about it, it's not just me. But if I have a child with me, if I have my spouse with me, or if I have an elder with me, you can allow anger to enrage you so much that you just lose sight of what it is you're doing or your surroundings. So, many of these incidents that you speak that are happening, and people they allow themselves, because they're not disciplined, they're not regulated. Even sometimes in marriage, there are times where there are triggers, and we've made it a practice to just kind of take a deep breath. Like what I was doing with my grandson. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and just kind of pull yourself back in. So now we can at least have a conversation about what it is that kind of made us feel a certain way. But that's emotion regulation. That's a discipline that when anger takes over and your emotions start dictating, and it takes you to a place where, violence is the answer, or violence becomes a choice, and you just hurt and harm other people, many times instant. Like we're dealing with a 15-year-old, a situation here at a park that I take my grandchildren to pretty regularly during the spring and summer.
Mm-hmm.
Roy Wilkins Park. Very rarely have there been any incidents, but this past week, a 15-year-old was shot in the park. He's a student at Eagle Academy, a ninth grader. He's gone. Over senseless violence. A family of 8 children in Shreveport, Louisiana, gone over senseless violence. And you allow anger to take you to that place of no return. It's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
And so what we're talking about here today, what you've been, the foundation that you've laid out, and I've said this to you before, it's really so necessary and so important, but we got to get it out more.
Yes.
We got to get it out more. We have to stir it up more. We got to increase the outreach more.
Yes.
Because it's becoming a life-saving mechanism.
Yes.
Where you cannot regulate and control emotion or anger to a point where, whether it's, I was an advocate at one time, with, I guess, gun control.
Yes.
That if you could, if you're responsible, mature, and disciplined, you can manage it.
Yes.
Most people, a lot of people are not.
That's right.
Maybe some of these weapons just need to be removed.
Yes.
Because it's getting in the hands of the wrong people, or it's in the hands of the wrong people, even young people. This incident in Sheepshead Bay, two friends who were football players who were doing well, and somehow one got a hand of the weapon, I guess that was in the house, and the gun went off, killing the other 16-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And these were not only good students, promised at least academically,
yes,
and they were doing well in their vocation, football. They were junior varsity.
Mm-hmm.
Now one's gone, and the other one, who's in custody, he's on suicide watch because they're worried about him.
Of course. Wow.
So this violence.
Yes.
And then it's not only physical violence, but verbal violence.
Yes.
You hear it from the very top of this country, the leadership.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The spewing of violence.
Yeah.
The spewing of war.
Yes.
The spewing of we're going to take people down. And this has now become the new norm.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was always the norm. We just got to do a better job.
Yes.
Of regulating and controlling
our
actions, our thoughts, our actions, and then ultimately our behavior.
Wonderful.
As my friend and brother Calvin Patterson would say, I am complete.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Greg. Really appreciate it. And as we wind down, I really appreciate all of your feedback. The folks who are on LinkedIn, I see Ann Wax just joined us. Timothy Butts, great comments. You can go through it on LinkedIn, and appreciate all that Felipe for joining us, and all of you for hanging in there with us. Want to make sure you know about our Power Thinking Court mobile app. Folks are signing up, and we're well over 100 downloads. The next milestone will be 1,000. How resilient are you? How about your emotion regulation, your impulse control? We actually have an assessment where you can find out if you are above average, below average in your emotion regulation, in your impulse control, in your optimism, and so forth. And then, of course, we're going to be sharing with you through push notifications, quotes, videos that can help you to build those strengths. So just go to You can go to Leslie Flowers and find her link, Sherry Aquari, who has a link, other Power Thinking members who have links, or just go to Google Play Store or the Apple Store, download it. Free trial, 7 days, and right now is only $9.99 a month. For a year, $59.99, and you're done. But you're getting this Power Thinking framework, sent to you, pushed to you on a daily basis. So I want to thank you all for being with us. I'm going to go to the phone lines and thank the folks who were with us, Keystone Drivers. We'll get to you the next time. We're so happy that you were here. Other folks who I did not acknowledge beforehand, Francine Hampton, thank you for joining us. And we see Carolyn Dove and folks who I didn't acknowledge, Peg Kowalski, Caroline Zeru, Gail Berger, DeMarquis Hall, who's already referred a number of people to Stephen McGill. Haven't seen you in a while. You should be have your doctorate by now. Lindsay Inger, thank you all for being with us. Make it a fantastic day. And remember, since we spend all of our time thinking, we must think with power and utilize power thinking. Take care, everybody. Make it a great one. And our folks who are on LinkedIn, we appreciate you as well. Make it a fantastic day. We'll see you again, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Please invite others. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon.